My father got carried away after achieving success in his career and insisted that I go on a blind date with a man 6 years older than me. I flatly refused. So, I ran away from home. My father threatened to cancel all my credit cards, confident that I'd slink back within 3 days. A week has passed, and I'm still out here. Clearly, my father was wrong. I took all my luxury bags and watches with me. To prove that I could stand on my own 2 feet, I landed a job at a listed company with a monthly salary of just 3,000 yuan. As the week ended, my father was the first to panic. He added me back on social media with the nickname Camellia. After leaving him hanging for a day, I decided to cut him some slack. When I checked his moments, I was shocked to find out he'd just been to Zurich. Right, here I am, your only daughter, scraping by on 3,000 yuan a month, while you're off in Switzerland enjoying the blue sky, white clouds, and the majestic Alps. I mustered up the courage to send him a message. Daddy, can you take me with you on your next business trip? No reply. I sent him a bunch of cute cat emoji. I asked, pleading for mercy. The little cat has no money for food. Camellia replied with a simple, I put my bags and watches up for sale online, but people thought they were too pricey, and there were a few takers. Even when I offered them at rock-bottom prices, they still doubted their authenticity. The president hasn't left the office yet. If you leave now, don't bother coming back tomorrow. Someone warned. I retorted, raising my voice, with a salary of 3,000 yuan. Do you really expect me to work overtime? My voice echoed through the silent office building. He was dressed in a luxurious dark suit, his tall and slender figure exuding an air of elegance. My eyes slowly traveled up his body. He had prominent eyebrows and a straight, imposing nose, giving off an intimidating vibe, as if he were dominating a negotiation table. His broad shoulders and narrow waist suggested he was quite fit. He was good-looking, but his stern expression made him seem rather unapproachable. The team leader approached with a big smile and asked, What can I do for you, Mr. President? Sebastian gave me a quick glance, and I was sure he was about to make everyone work overtime. Just as I was bracing myself to stand up to him, he coughed. Sebastian parted his lips slightly and looked at me, saying, It's time to go home. Everyone cheered and started packing up their things. I'd already finished packing, so I quickly made my way to the front. Sebastian followed behind. No one dared to walk beside him. They all waited for the big boss to leave first. But I had a reservation at a high-end Japanese restaurant, and it was about to expire. I couldn't miss it. Wearing my small high heels, I stepped into the elevator just as Sebastian strode in. I moved aside and offered a polite smile. Miss Zhang, he said. Huh? I was shocked that the president actually remembered my name. For someone earning only 3,000 yuan a month, this felt like a disaster. There's an AI chip launch event in California next Wednesday, he informed me. Why was he telling me this? Who wants to talk about work after hours? Just because he's good-looking doesn't mean he's going to pay me double for overtime? I just let out a casual, oh. Camellia replied with a simple okay. When I arrived at the Japanese restaurant, I took a photo. Daddy, this Japanese food is amazing. Let's come here together next time. In the photo, I scooped up a bite of fresh sea urchin with a spoon and winked at the camera. Melia took ages to reply. What exactly is the next time? I thought about it. I still didn't want to see my father. Every time we met, he'd start arranging all sorts of blind dates. This time it was a man 6 years older, and next time, it'd probably be some notorious playboy from Hong Kong City. That's just how it is in our social circle. I replied, the next time is just the next time, Daddy, and sent him an angry cat emoji. Camellia seemed a bit miffed. I quickly tried to smooth things over. Daddy, don't be mad. Anger ages you, and you won't look as handsome. Amelia asked, Do you think I'm old? Of course not. It seemed that running away from home had really hurt his feelings. I flattered him. Daddy, you're the most handsome and the best. You're so successful and charming. Most people your age can't even compare. Please transfer some more money to your beloved daughter. As the saying goes, you need to know a bit of child psychology when dealing with men, especially my unpredictable father. Right after dinner, I got a message from HR saying I'd been promoted to the president's assistant with a monthly salary of $50. Zero yuan in my own private office. Dad, I'm not coming back. I suddenly realized that life outside my family's protection wasn't so bad after all. I even thought that with a bit more effort, I might be able to take over our family company. These past few days, I realized I'd never seen Sebastian in our social circles. I asked around, but no one knew any gossip about him. With a listed company like his, it's hard to believe he has such a spotless reputation. Hang on a second. Did he promote and give me a raise because he's interested in me? I looked at myself in the hotel mirror and thought, well, it's a natural assumption. It didn't matter. I was determined to run the company into the ground. I woke up early, put on some nice makeup, and headed to the office. HR led me to my new office, which was right next to the president's. The door to the president's office was slightly open, and I couldn't tell if anyone was inside. I was so sleepy that I yawned. Just then, I saw someone carrying a cup of coffee. Without looking properly, I blurted out, "Make me a cup too. I'm dead tired." As soon as I said it, I regretted it. This wasn't my home. What was I doing acting like a spoiled brat? HR was taken aback and awkwardly said, "Good morning, Mr. Kin." I looked up and saw Sebastian's stern face. HR quickly greeted him and scurried away. Sebastian raised an eyebrow at me. "I just made this. Do you want it?" I wasn't sure if it was just me, but Sebastian seemed less intimidating now. Before I could think, Sebastian handed me the coffee and went back to his office. I sat at my desk, stared at the coffee, and took a sip. It tasted better than the coffee our maid made. I took a photo and sent it to Camellia. "Daddy, this coffee is delicious." My relationship with my father had improved a lot, and I decided to go home after returning from California next week. After all, the breakfast at the 5-star hotel was truly terrible. By the time the plane landed, it was already early morning. I was groggy from jet lag as I followed Sebastian to the car and then to the hotel. When I woke up the next day, it was already afternoon. I saw an email from Sebastian saying he'd gone to a meeting. I didn't expect things to get so wild. Finn had hired 5 muscular male models. They were incredibly sexy, their shirts hanging loosely, and when they poured me a drink, I could see everything. There were 3 around Finn and 2 beside me. I was intoxicated by their repeated praises of Oriental boat just as I was about to kiss one of them in my tipsy state. My wrist suddenly felt like it had been bitten by a snake. I focused my eyes and saw a man even more handsome than the models standing in front of me, with dark, intense eyes and gold-rimmed glasses. He grabbed my wrist firmly and looked down at me. I frowned and whispered to Finn, "He's my type, but he's got a really strong grip." Finn shook his head at me nervously. "That's probably your boss." Before I could fully understand what he meant, I was dragged away by this snake. He threw me into the car and wouldn't let go of my wrist. I struggled, but I couldn't break free. "You like to have fun so much. Daddy will play with you," he said. My heart skipped a beat, and I sobered up a bit. It wasn't some random model. It was Sebastian. Our eyes met, and we were so close that I could feel his breath. I couldn't tell whose eyes showed more desire. The tension in the car was palpable as we slowly leaned in closer. After dinner, I was picking out a little dress when he grabbed me and said in a serious tone, "After you were taken away yesterday, I had someone look into it. You're in real trouble this time." Finn asked me seriously, "Do you even know who you slept with?" Was I really being lectured by the unreliable Finn? I replied bluntly, "Sebastian, my boss." He clapped his hands and said, "Do you really think he's just an ordinary president of a listed company?" Finn, have been around in the Hong Kong and North American social scenes, and I've never heard of Sebastian. Guess why? Because he's not from our circle. Finn shook his head mysteriously. It's the Kin family. They've been keeping a low profile since my great-grandfather's generation. Their businesses are all over the world. They don't need to struggle like us. And now you've slept with the Kin family's only son. So what? It was a consensual thing. Finn gave me a disappointed look. He came to California to find his fiancée. Her family is in the arms business and has connections with local gangs. Adult flings are one thing, but Avery, if this gets out, how are we going to explain it to his fiancée? The Kent family would never marry into a family like ours. What if Sebastian is just playing around? With a snap of their fingers, they could make you and me disappear. We're just small fry in this game. And if we get caught up, we're done for. I knew something was off yesterday. He's so good-looking, and I've never even heard of him. Finn looked genuinely scared. The arms business? Could they really shoot me? I asked, my voice trembling. No way. I really messed with the wrong person. My face went pale. Knowing I wouldn't believe it, Finn showed me a photo on his phone. In a grand banquet hall, a delicate and beautiful girl was standing next to Sebastian, their arms linked as they chatted with business people and politicians. So Sebastian had lied to me. He said his fiancée had run away, but he'd actually come to California to chase after her. Finn cursed under his breath. Damn it, he's even worse than me. Avery, you really made a bad move this time. Next time, I'll make sure you get your revenge. I was filled with anger and humiliation. A wave of shame washed over me, and I felt tears welling up in my eyes. I felt so powerless, like I'd been cheated and couldn't even do anything about it. I wiped away my tears, threw on a hoodie and jeans, and left a stack of money on the bed. I wrote a note to Sebastian. Morning, afternoon, and evening. No wonder they say men go downhill after 25. You're pretty average. Take this money and buy some deer antler supplements to boost your energy. Finn gave me a thumbs up. You're a tough girl. I respect that. If you're going to play, you've got to be ready to lose. I packed all my things and fled back to the country with Finn. On the plane, I blocked Sebastian's email and handed in my resignation to HR. It was actually quite easy since I hadn't added many people's contacts during my short time at the company. Finn sat next to me. With his cute upturned nose and small mouth, he had soft, attractive facial features. A mischievous thought crossed my mind, and I asked, "Mind taking a photo with me?" Finn was still looking at his ex-boyfriend's social media. He mumbled a reply and looked up. With a click, I sent the photo of us to the work group and then left the group. Finn's face turned pale. You announced our relationship in the work group? Yep. I nodded. Sebastian's work WeChat is in that group. Finn was surprised. You didn't add him on WeChat? I shook my head. Sebastian's profile picture was so impersonal, and he never spoke in the group. Who dared add him? Even if I did, he probably wouldn't accept. So I'd only ever communicated with him via work emails. Finn sighed but seemed to approve of what I'd done. Spreading rumors about us. Here's something else. Then he handed me a tissue. Stop crying. I'll find you a nice guy when we get back. I wiped my nose and said, I'm done with love. In reality, as soon as I got off the plane, I dumped my luggage on Finn's butler, and we both burst into tears in the arms of a model. Finn, the troublemaker, was unstoppable in Hong Kong City. After eating too much Western food, he was eager to try some local cuisine. So we went wild. I couldn't keep up and went back to the hotel early. Just before I fell asleep, my phone lit up. Finn had messaged Dee. Yes, ma'am. I flipped through my phone aimlessly. Was Sebastian really going to ignore me completely? I'd even sent a photo of me with another man in the work group. Oh, well, maybe I really was just a passing fancy for him. I tried to find information online that could bring down the Qin family, but it was like a mosquito trying to topple an elephant. So I gave up. When I woke up and checked my phone, Camellia had called me countless times. Annoyed, I blocked him too. I called Finn. Hey, remember that tea plantation in Hang House you told me about? Yeah, my ex-boyfriend gave it to me. Why? His voice sounded rough, like he'd been up all night partying. I clicked my tongue. I'm just saying, even if you're as tough as nails, you should still take it easy. Finn retorted. Since when did you start sounding like my ex? Get it. I continued. I don't want to stay in Hong Kong City anymore. I want to go to Hang House to unwind. No need. As soon as he heard my dejected tone, he suddenly perked up and said, Absolutely not. Sisters are more important than anything. I must accompany you. With that, he bought 2 plane tickets. But I waited in the boarding lounge and never saw Finn. Just as it was almost time to board the plane, he sent me a hasty voice message. Sith, you go to Hang House first. I saw my ex-boyfriend. Holy cow, he's even more handsome now. I should go out and have fun, really let loose, just like how I used to indulge in pleasure. I'm just short on cash. So I opened the chat window with Camellia and messaged Daddy, wanna buy some tea? After sending the message, I felt something was off. I'd been so heartbroken before that I hadn't paid attention to the messages. That's when I noticed that among dozens of missed calls, there was a message from Camellia. I've cooked the meal. And you've called me Daddy, but now you've run off with another man. What about me? Am I really just your father? What? Isn't he my father? It seemed that my dad had sent the message to the wrong person, and his girlfriend had run away with someone else. My dad sure knows how to have a good time. Am I going to have a stepmother? After a flurry of random thoughts, Camellia sent another message. Where are you? Why does he keep asking me where I am? He just wants to catch me and make me go on a blind date, doesn't he? The tea is 200,000 yuan per tell, Daddy. Buy 1 tell, and I'll tell you where I am. Camellia replied. Transferring. So straightforward? Camellia. So, where are you? I could almost feel my father's anger through the words. I felt he was really frustrated. Finally, it was almost early morning. Camellia, is it really not possible? I sent a cat emoji nodding, followed by a cat emoji crying and then a cat emoji hugging. These past few days, every time Camellia asked me where I was, I asked him to buy tea. Even if he bought it, I still wouldn't tell him where I was. Although he guessed I was in Hang House, he didn't know the exact location. These days, financial news channels suddenly broadcast a lot of news about the Qin family. Most of it was about Sebastian becoming the head of the Qin family. I gritted my teeth. Congratulations. Camellia suddenly sent me a message. I'm almost there to get you. I replied to Camellia. Daddy, if you come to Hang House to catch me, I'll become a nun at Lingyan Temple. I'll pray every day for the Qin family to go bankrupt. Camellia, my daily entertainment was thinking about how to spend my generous daily allowance. One day after shopping, I was in the car. Finn sent me a message. Honey, I told my ex-husband about you going to the tea plantation. It should be okay, right? I was really confused. I have no dealings with young Master Lu. Why is he asking about me? Finn. I'm a bit suspicious that Draven is using his good looks as a trick. Could he be working for Sebastian's fiancé? No wonder he's been so friendly these days. I'm locked up by Draven now. He said he wants to teach me a lesson. His words imply that I've offended someone I shouldn't have. What should I do? What should I do? I was so scared that my hands were shaking. I tried to reassure myself, telling myself that guns are not allowed in our country. I said, is it really that serious? I mean, which prestigious family doesn't have some gossip? Even if the kin family comes looking. Before the driver reached the tea plantation, I already felt something was wrong. There were hardly any people on the roadside, and no tea farmers in sight. As we were getting close to the tea plantation, I saw a whole row of bodyguards. They definitely weren't hired by Finn to protect me. He could barely protect himself at the moment. He immediately told the driver to turn around, hurry up and run. The tea plantation was surrounded tightly. What's the big deal? His man is causing trouble on one side, and they're chasing me as if they want to kill me. Was it really necessary to hire so many bodyguards? While I was lost in my thoughts, Camellia called. I picked up the phone and said, "Daddy, open the door." That's when I realized that through the private room door, I hadn't even noticed the wild party noise in the bar had stopped. Who made the bar go silent? In the suddenly silent bar, all I could hear was the deep voice outside telling me to open the door. It didn't sound like my dad. Before I could react, my hand instinctively reached for the doorknob. I pulled it gently and looked up. I fell into a pair of dark eyes that always made me lost in thought. Sebastian's eyes were like sparks of fire, burning my heart. In an instant, I almost wanted to run away again. But he grabbed my wrist tightly. Sebastian lifted his eyelids slightly. His eyes were dark and intense as he asked me word by word, "You want to run away again?" Sebastian dragged me into the private room and locked the door. I ran to the farthest corner from him and glared at him. "What do you want?" "My dad will be here soon." "That's what I'm going to do?" His deep and magnetic voice carried a faint coldness. There was a hint of danger in his eyes, and an uncontrollable possessiveness. I took a deep breath. How dare I guess what young Master Kin is thinking? Sebastian squinted his eyes, picked up the wine glass I had used, which still had a little wine left in it. He swirled it and then drank it openly right in front of me. Then he walked towards me slowly, cornering me. No matter how I moved, it felt wrong. Every part of him seemed dangerous. "I want Miss Zhang to take responsibility for you." He stared at me for a while before helping me calm down. While soothing me, he questioned me. "You mind that I'm old, but you don't mind that he's gay?" What's wrong with being gay? Why did he sound so angry? I was the one who should be angry. I was so passive. And then he kissed me again. He trapped me in his embrace. And he was always the one in control. All my grievances welled up at once, and I bit my slightly swollen lips. I said fiercely, "I do mind." I said I mind. I mind that you're older. I mind that you had a fiancé. I mind that you treated me as a pastime. I mind that you just drank my wine. Woo woo. I mind that you... Sebastian, do whatever you want. I even ran all the way to Hanghouse, and you still came to bother me. I wiped away my tears and pushed him away. I forced myself to walk outside and mumbled, "I'm going to find my dad. I'm going home. Don't follow me." It wasn't until I reached the West Lake that I answered the call from Camellia. "Daddy, where are you?" "It's me, Sebastian." My mind went blank. Was this some kind of joke? I looked at the note on my phone. My dad had always used the nickname Camellia. It was because we used to have a red camellia garden that my mom took great care of. It was especially beautiful every spring. After my mom passed away, my dad never changed his WeChat name. I scrolled through our chat history. I had been wrong from the very beginning. I had assumed Camellia was my dad. It turned out that Sebastian's WeChat name was also Camellia, so I had been mistaken since Sebastian added me on WeChat. "Avery, after you disappeared, I knew that the daddy you mentioned wasn't what I thought." "Avery? Can I explain?" I was still embarrassed by the fact that I had been calling him Daddy every day and asking him for money. The most recent chat records were me tricking him into buying tea. I just said, "Oh, I don't have any other fiancé except you." I don't know where the misunderstanding came from, but it must be my fault. I apologize to you. Maybe you thought the first message you sent me was just an accident. But even without that mistake, I would have tried to get close to you. After crying for a long time, I was a bit dazed from lack of oxygen and couldn't react immediately. No other fiancé except me. Did that mean I was his fiancé? What was going on? If you don't mind, I'll continue. I admit that I had an arranged marriage partner a long time ago. But that was many years ago, and I didn't agree to it. His voice gradually became gentle. Maybe you don't remember, but we met once before, in your family's red camellia garden. Because your father said your family had a large red camellia garden, I asked my father to accept your family's invitation. In the red camellias I saw you. My thoughts drifted back in time. It was a long time ago when we were still living in the old house. It was said that some very important guests had come, and the adults were discussing matters in the reception hall. I was bored and wandering around when I saw a young man with a crying little girl sitting in our camellia garden. The little girl wouldn't stop crying, so the young man opened a lollipop to soothe her. I was losing my baby teeth at that time, and my mom wouldn't let me eat candy. I was so jealous that I started crying and clung to the young man's leg, throwing a tantrum. Boo, boo, boo. I'm crying too. Please comfort me. Give me the candy. My face turned red suddenly. Why was I always so unreasonable whenever I met Sebastian? Give me the candy. Give me the money. I'll throw a tantrum if you don't. I'll cry if you don't. He sighed and continued after that. I asked about you, but my father said my marriage was already arranged. He said that the kin family members couldn't decide their own marriages. So I had to work my way to the center of power step by step and then go to your father and ask him to arrange a blind date for us. But you refused and ran away from home. His tone suddenly became pitiful. Avery, do you really not like me? I looked around wondering where I could charge my phone. Why did it turn off? I suddenly became anxious, worried that Sebastian wouldn't hear my response. As soon as I turned around, I bumped into a familiar embrace. Sebastian's eyes were deep and profound as he looked into my red, tearful eyes. Finally, he sighed helplessly and said slowly, "You cry so easily." But this time I don't have a lollipop. What should I do? I imitated his tone. What should we do? In the car, he placed my hand on his chest. Through the pure cotton fabric, I could feel his heart beating vigorously. Avery, can you forgive me? After charging my phone, I showed him the photo Finn had taken before. Sebastian, who was used to being in a position of power, also looked surprised for a moment. He pulled me onto his lap and said with a bitter smile, "This is my sister. You met her when you were kids. Who gave you this photo? How heartless. Framing me like this." His hand slowly moved down, and he whispered in my ear, "Avery, I work out every day." His fingertips brushed across my lips, and a tingling sensation spread all over my body from my lips. Only then did I understand why Sebastian said he worked out every day. It was raining outside the window. Under the torment of the wind and rain, the camellia seemed to be crying silently. He just lifted his eyelids and glanced at me, his eyes full of deep desire. "Faye, you're really something. You sold it online right away, selling it at a 10 discount. Are you out of your mind?" I pursed my lips. Forget it. Forget it." My father looked at me and said, "You've lost weight. I'll ask Nanny Liu to make some soup today. If you don't want to go on blind dates, that's fine. But did you really have to run away from home?" My father's eyes turned red as he spoke, and he let out a sigh. "But I don't approve of you being with Finn either. That playboy has a bad reputation in Hong Kong City and North America since he was young. If you dare to marry him, I'll hang myself in front of your mother's grave right away." Just as my father finished speaking, Finn appeared at our door. He said loudly, "Avery, I heard you've won over Sebastian." He walked in with a big smile. My father's face darkened, but when he heard Sebastian's name, his expression immediately brightened. My father patted his chest and said, "I misjudged your friend. If it's Sebastian, then I'm relieved. Finn pulled me over. Sebastian said in a recent interview that his fiancé is you. Avery, you really did it. Now I don't have to be afraid of getting shot. Young Master Lu finally let me out today. He took a sip of the sweet soup. I later heard from Draven that when Sebastian saw the photo he sent in the work group, he almost went crazy. He said he wanted to get rid of me in Hong Kong City. Of course, that's what Draven told me. Draven said he saved me. I'm not sure if Draven was scaring me. But now that I think about it, the Kin family really took over most of my family's business those days. But luckily, we're all okay now. Finn showed off his diamond ring to me for a long time. Then he said to me with a sniffle, "We got married abroad." Draven said this would make me settle down and focus on the family. "Sister, I won't be able to take you to the bar anymore." I saw Sebastian on the balcony holding a large bouquet of camellias. He was dressed formally and knocked on the door like a perfect gentleman. I found it a bit funny since he clearly knew our family's door password, so I asked directly, "What are you doing here?" Sebastian smiled charmingly and answered seriously, "Miss Zhou, I'm here for a blind date." "Avery, I have a lot of candy. I also have a lot of money. You can throw tantrums with me. You can even cry when you throw a tantrum."